Known as the voice for global planners and Kabbalists who operate behind the shadows, their latest puzzle, The World in 2025, has sparked some serious curiosity. The cover uses bold colours, red, black and white, echoing German symbolism tied to Saturn. Saturn is also in the picture, the ancient Roman god of time and judgment. Saturn represents cycles of change and power shifts. Historically, its 29.5-year cycle aligned with major transitions such as the end of Stalin's rule or Khrushchev's rise. Joseph Stalin rose to power after Lenin's death in 1924, and during that time, Saturn was moving through the zodiac. Stalin consolidated his authority as Saturn continued its cycle. Between 1953 and 1956, as Saturn completed a cycle, significant leadership changes occurred. In 1953, after Stalin's death, Nikita Khrushchev emerged as the new leader, marking the end of Stalin's era. Saturn transited through Leo during this period, completing a 29.5-year cycle. Although the Western leadership out there are dreaming of Vladimir Putin stepping down, he's still active in this picture, albeit a more diminished role. Therefore, in 2025, with only 24 years of rule, Putin's reign will not reach Saturn's full 29.5-year cycle. Xi Jinping is depicted very well in this picture, representing wisdom amid the chaos below, and China's growing influence, which means Taiwan is most likely to dominate the news next year, potentially hinting on China's move on Taiwan. After all, Taiwan does belong to China. The dollar's all-seeing eye is paired with an hourglass, suggesting time's up for the US dollar-led monetary world. It's also interesting to note that Taiwan is the world's leader in semiconductor manufacturing, and there's an image of a car in this picture, a modern car where semiconductors are a crucial part. Taking the entire picture as a whole, it appears China on Taiwan would lead to a global economic shock, causing a slowdown in the US economy and eroding confidence in the dollar, because that's exactly what will happen if China decides to take back its territory in Taiwan. In 2024 cryptogram, the Ukraine-Russian conflict dominates. Zelensky is under constant attack, symbolized by bombs. Putin has a dove of peace above him, hinting at a ceasefire with Ukraine. The hourglass connecting them suggests peace is on the horizon very soon and possibly already negotiated and to be announced in 2025. Because 2025, according to the Economist magazine, will not be about Ukraine and Russia. Although Donald Trump takes a central role here, symbolizing some sort of leadership in uncertain times, if you ask me, America doesn't actually have a leader. You honestly think someone like Biden, who can hardly speak a word of English, is calling the shots in the Middle East? Trump's the same, just a frontman for the global elite, doing their bidding to promote Israel as a ruling state. And this brings me to talk about the symbols of nuclear threat. We see a pale mushroom of an explosion and a large drawing of a theatre of war missile. Notice that it's not an intercontinental ballistic missile. Theatre of war missiles are designed for specific regions, which Iran has plenty of, as it tries to checkmate and tackle Israeli threats in the Middle East. It could mean that the war with Iran might escalate, although Iran is not actually in this picture, which suggests to me they might just make up a nuclear threat about Iran, which the Americans do quite well.
When I was a cadet, what's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
So my dear friends, are these covers a roadmap for the future or just an artistic riddle? Either way, the Kabbalists are at play and have declared war on humanity. We must be vigilant. Love deeply, serve selflessly, cherish always, and hurt never. Thanks for listening to the Independent Islamic Republic. Assalamu alaikum. Have a good night.